Hey, this is Heidi Dawson. If you love all things health and wellness and style of any kind, hang out here with me each week. I'm obsessed with never-ending improvement, and it's all in an effort to help each one of us live a wildly successful lifestyle. Subscribe today so you don't miss a thing.
Hi, guys. Welcome to episode 558 of the Wildly Successful Lifestyle Podcast. I hope that life is going really well for you and you're having at least a little fun every single day. Remember, you're in control of the fun and the happiness department in your own life. So if you're not having fun and you're not finding happiness, there's one person to blame, and that's you. And for me, it's me. And since I've been talking about that in the last few episodes, I've really been noticing when I'm trying to blame someone else for my mood. Usually it falls on my husband, Eric. But I noticed that once I take full responsibility for my own happiness and my own fun, my relationship with him feels so much better. And so taking full responsibility for your own self not only empowers you, it also improves the relationship you have with the people that are closest to you, which is a huge bonus I didn't expect. It makes life so much better, which is why I do this podcast twice a week, every week. It's to make our life better. So be sure to tune in and subscribe because we're making things better, one little 10-minute episode at a time. And I love that. And I hope you do too. All right, so during one of my yoga classes this last week, my yoga instructor said that often we come to class carrying this invisible backpack that's weighed down with all the things we have to do later, and maybe even all the conversations we've had or thoughts that we've had. Maybe we've had arguments and we're thinking about them. All of this is in this invisible backpack that most of us carry around, and it weighs on us. And so she asked us to visually and mentally watch ourselves set that backpack down so that we could practice without that added weight. And I actually did that. I imagined myself leaving mine outside the yoga door. It was really freeing. And she added that there was no need to stress. You could pick it right back up once class was done. So offering that option on top of that gave us even more incentive to leave the backpack just for now. It actually worked. I let it all go for that 1 hour class, and it felt really freeing. But when I was thinking about it later, like, what am I carrying around in my mental backpack and why am I doing that? I noticed that some of the things that were weighing on me were things that were easily fixed, small things that were easily fixed, but that I kept ignoring. So they're piling up and they felt a lot heavier when they're all combined. But that idea of mentally carrying them in a backpack kind of helped me compartmentalize each one as its own thing. And a few of them made no sense for me to be carrying around at all. So why do we do that? Why do we let these things weigh us down instead of just handling them? Well, it's not laziness. A lot of times it's fear or perfectionism or just a feeling of being overwhelmed by things. And as I considered the things that were weighing on me, I realized that I could fix a few of them really just with a simple text. I'll give you an example. So this last week I had a contractor send me a list of decisions that I needed to make with my client. Now, for some reason, I avoided opening that list. And in fact, I didn't even respond at all. And that kept weighing on me that I needed to look at it and I needed to respond. Literally, semi-subconsciously, I would have it in the back of my mind the whole week, every single day. And then this morning I was meditating and the thought popped up that said, just respond and ask for deadlines so that you can take that off your plate. Now, the awareness that it's been bothering me showed up during meditation. And that same awareness told me to just respond and ask when decisions needed to be made so that I could schedule it out and stop worrying about it. So as soon as I finished meditation, I sent the contractor a text, and pretty much as soon as I sent the text, I instantly felt better. Now, I also kind of analyzed why I avoided it in the first place because, a lot of times we're avoiding it for a reason. There were a couple things about the project that are sort of uncertain, and it's hard to make concrete decisions when that's the case. So rather than address it, I was just avoiding it, which weighed on me even more because now I was making myself the problem by not responding. Well, let's not do that. There's usually a reason why we're avoiding a call or a conversation or a task. But avoiding it doesn't make it better. It usually makes it worse. So many times we avoid tasks because they feel overwhelming or we're scared of making the wrong decision. Psychologists call this avoidance coping. We dodge discomfort to feel better in the moment, but it ends up stressing us out way more. And so here's the thing. You don't have to tackle the whole thing right out of the gate or right in one moment. You just take one small step towards tackling it. So for me, that moment came after meditation when a thought popped up, like just respond and ask for deadlines. So simple, right? So I sent a quick text to the contractor saying, hey, got your list. When do you need these decisions by? That was it. The second I hit send, I felt lighter, like I'd lightened the load of my backpack. And research totally backs this up. Studies show that taking even one small action, like writing the first sentence of an email, releases this dopamine and it makes the whole task feel less daunting. So you pick one tiny step, you send a text or you open the email or you write one sentence and see how that one little thing builds momentum. And once I sent that text to get the deadlines and I could put it on my calendar, it took the stress off because now I have a plan. I've scheduled it on my calendar so I can release it from my mind. All of this matters because every time you avoid something, it's like adding a pebble to that backpack you're carrying. But every time you take action, you take one of those pebbles out, so you lighten the load. Taking small actions to address those nagging little tasks doesn't just clear your to-do list, it actually boosts your confidence. It gives you more energy and it gives you a peace of mind. I actually felt all of that when I sent that text. That is what living a wildly successful life is about. It's not letting the little things steal your joy. When I sent that text to the contractor, I wasn't just checking a box. I was choosing to show up for myself. You may think that's silly, but it's not, because that was weighing on me. And you can actually do that for yourself too. Show up for yourself one small step at a time. My challenge to you this week is this. Pick one task or one conversation you've been avoiding. It could be an email, could be a phone call, could be a tough talk with a friend. Take one small action towards it. Maybe it's writing the first line of the email or texting to set up a time to talk. Then schedule the next step in your calendar. Do this for just one thing this week that's been weighing on you and notice how it feels to let go. You may not set the whole backpack down, but you've definitely lightened the load. Share this with 3 people who could use a little break. I love you guys. I'll talk to you in a few days.
Don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends, because we're just going to keep going bigger and better places together, and I love that about us. Talk to you in a few days.